And we're live here in Pensacola for the fourth game of the day for me, the second game at this NCCAA South Region. Jake, the Jackets have come off late in this one. This game was supposed to get started at 7 o'clock. It's now 8:17, so it's going to be a late night, but another fun night of soccer. Travis just did the last game with me, but a treat of a game. The Eagles, a heartbreaker for them, but a great game there. But now we're going to transition to Bob Jones University, the number one team in the nation, the number one seed in this tournament, going up against the Toccoa Falls team that the Bruins have already beat once this year. If you're the Bruins, you have to, there's a little nervousness creeping up. The Eagles didn't think they were going to lose in that first game. So if you're the Bruins, how do you come out strong tonight against a team that you should beat in hopes of ultimately getting that victory?
Yeah, absolutely. They just have to come out with the swagger that they have as the number one seed. Anytime you come in as the number one seed, you want to control the game. You want to start off early and really show how you've been able to dominate all season, and that's just what they have to do tonight against Toccoa Falls.
Now, I know I'll throw it into this. I know your dad's probably watching, your mom's probably watching. I'll probably get a text here in a second from Scott and Ginger. Thanks for tuning, jumping on. We've been trying to make this happen all year, but it just seems like something's been, keeping us from doing it. So thanks for jumping on. Jake McClellan, the NCCAA Division II National Player of the Year last year for the Eagles. He's the all-time leading goal scorer. I'm Noah Frary. I'm a nobody up here. I'm just the play-by-play guy. But we're looking forward to a great matchup tonight between two good teams, especially Bob Jones, who are looking to now, get ready and put themselves into that South Region final tomorrow against Trinity. Bob Jones, they've scored 41 goals this year. They've only given up 7, a stifling defense, and that's something on teams that you've been a part of, a really good defense. I think about, a buddy of yours, Nick Standridge. I think of Adrian Torres, and even this year's team, always great defense. Talk to me about how beneficial it is for a team to have such a great defense that then maybe takes a little pressure off guys like you who played on offense.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you can have a defense that you can count on to keep to 1 or 2 goals a game, it allows the offense to have those mistakes that they might have, miss those chances, and still know that the other team's not just going to run up the score on you. So they've had the opportunity to have that all year. They haven't had to always score the most goals, but they've been able to get results because of their strong defense.
Jake McClellan, he's played against a lot of these players on this field probably, so it's going to be a great broadcast tonight. Want to thank you for tuning in for this one. Bob Jones University Bruins versus the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles coming up next. Enough from us. We're going to throw it down to the field. Starting lineups, national anthem prayer coming up next. I love that.
Starting tonight for Bob Jones University, number 1, Chris Moncheski. Number 4, Caleb Adams. Number 6, Rashid Laresh. Number 10, Victor Aladipo. Number 11, Caleb Myers. Number 18, Gashid Laresh. Number 19, Mario Figueroa. Number 20, Eli Solomon. Number 21, Micah Hennigan. Number 22, Charlie Barkman. Number 27, James McCarty. Bob Jones is led by Coach Hodgkin. Starting tonight for Toccoa Falls College, number 1, Alex Diaz. Number 2, Cleto Lerma. Number 3, Judah Berry. Number 5, David Smith. Number 7, Brandon Rockwell. Number 8, John Wood. Number 9, Michael Guthrie. Number 10, Jonathan Hollis. Number 12, Jonathan Bechtel. Number 15, Colby Rockwell. Number 20, Max Bockel. Toccoa is led by Coach Hugh. Officiating for tonight's game are Ryan Campbell, John Sowers, and Jason Keel. Please stand for prayer. Thank you, Lord, for this day, and we thank you for the gift of health. We pray for the safety of the players, and may everything be done bring you glory. In Christ Jesus' name, Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem. The National Christian College Athletic Association is committed to the true spirit of competition and upholding the 4 core values of the game plan for life: love, integrity, faith, and excellence. We ask that each participant, official, and spectator join us in exhibiting these Christ-like characteristics and help create a positive environment in which to enjoy today's competition.
I bet you wish you had a rising press box. Ours getting taken out by Hurricane Sally back at the beginning of October, so we forgot to put the lift up pregame, but it's up now. Hopefully a little bit better soccer camera angle out there. As I mentioned in the pregame, Toccoa Falls, the Screaming Eagles, the 4 seed in this one, 0-8 on the season, 0-3 in South Conference play, and they're taking on the number 1 team, the number 1 seed in the nation, the Bob Jones University Bruins. They check in at 6-2-1 and a stellar 5-0, a spotless 5-0 in the South region this year. I'm joined by NCAA Division II National Player of the Year last year, Jake McClelland, a 4-year starter for the Eagles. Just a great person for this game, and we're looking forward to yet another game. As I mentioned, my 4th of the season, or of the day, nonetheless. So if my voice cracks, if I sound a little groggy, it's because it's been a long day. 2 victories, or 1 victory in basketball. The guys basketball losing. The second one, a stunner here in Pensacola. Trinity Baptist winning against the Eagles in the last game, but now a great game between the Bruins, and we're underway as Guthrie gets it started. The Bruins, they took down Toccoa earlier this year 9-0. They're going to look for a repeat tonight and to secure a spot in the NCCAA South Region Tournament.
It's definitely looking like a tall task for Toccoa tonight, but in tournament play, as we just saw, anything can happen. Whoever's supposed to win doesn't always win. We'll see. You
looked at the Eagles in the last game and their bench. They had 20 guys on their bench. Trinity Baptist had 2 tonight. Toccoa with 1, compared to a very stacked Bob Jones University bench over here. We'll see if Toccoa can do what Trinity did to the Eagles earlier on tonight.
Yeah, that's one thing about Bob Jones is they always have a very deep team, a lot of players that can come in and contribute without missing a beat from the starting lineup.
McCarty just had the ball. He crosses it as Bob Jones looks to change the point of attack. Long ball played into the box. Here's Hennigan trying to get on the end of it. But the keeper, Alex Diaz, got there first. Bob Jones, though, creating an early opportunity here in just the 2nd minute. I want to thank you for joining us. If you're joining from Greenville, South Carolina, or Toccoa Falls, or maybe somewhere else in the country, we'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment on Facebook, on YouTube. We'd love to hear where you guys are watching this game from. If you want to join the conversation, and this might be dangerous knowing some of the people watching tonight, tweet at me, at Calls by Noah on Twitter. I'd love to get you involved in the conversation tonight with me and Jake.
Yeah, as you'll see here, Bob Jones does a great job of switching it from side to side, not always worrying about going forward and backward, but making their opponent go side to side and wearing them out that way.
You heard potentially the starters in the pregame, but let's take this opportunity to go over them. I already mentioned Alex Diaz in goal for Toccoa Falls first. Number 2, Cleto Lerma. He's going to play defense in this one. Judah Berry wearing number 3. David Smith wearing number 5. The Bruins now creating an opportunity. Lerma got in there, took that one off the face, and a Bruins corner kick. Brandon Rockwell, the senior, he's going to play defense. John Wood, another senior. Michael Guthrie, he'll wear number 9. Jonathan Hollis, a third senior, he'll wear 10. Jonathan Bechtel, he'll start on defense as well, wearing number 12. Colby Rockwell, in the midfield, and Max Boxel wearing number 24, Toccoa. They've only got 12 players, 11 of them on the field. That one played out harmlessly by the Bruins on the corner kick. 3rd minute of this one, Jake, and Bob Jones has already created a couple good opportunities.
Yeah, and that one came from, just like we were talking about, the quick switch up the field, and then they have a lot of attacking options as they switch the field while the defense is still trying to shift over. You'll see them do that a lot tonight.
Diaz was looking for Guthrie on that one, but I believe it was Laresh who stepped in front of it. Ball played in now. Hennigan was trying to connect with Eli Solomon, who's tied for the lead in goals for this Bruins squad with 6. Just outside the top 10 in the NCCAA. This game was supposed to start at 7 p.m. Jake, it's past my bedtime already, I can tell you that. Didn't get underway till about 8:15 after the game before it between the 2-seeded Eagles and the number 3-seeded Trinity Baptist goes double overtime, penalty kicks. What a game that was earlier on.
And it's always interesting to see how teams like a Bob Jones and Toccoa, they just waited forever. You know, they had already started to warm up, and it's been a long time since they started. How the start of the game goes, because sometimes you get going and warmed up, and then you sit there and you wait till the other game gets over with. So it looks like Bob Jones is coming out to a strong start here. The wait doesn't seem to have affected them very much at all.
That last play in offsides on Victor Oladipo. We mentioned Eli Solomon with 6 goals. He's tied with Oladipo with 6, both of them just sitting outside the top 10 in the NCCAA. With the Bruins on the attack now. That was Solomon who nearly had a goal.
Yeah, Bob Jones is looking to really attack early here. And like you were saying, with their strong defense, they can get forward and they can throw those numbers forward with their strong defense to rely on behind them, and they don't have to worry as much about turning the ball over.
Hennigan heads that one to the sideline, and a great save there by the athletic director, Addison Cawley, down at the scorer's table. Jake, in the 4 years you've played at a home game, I've never seen that table hit before. But we had it happen twice in the last game. We got penalty kicks in the last game, so a night of firsts here on Eagle Field.
Yeah, there was a real hard collision down there. It looked like he just slid right across the ground.
We took a moment ago to go over the starters for the number 4-seeded Screaming Eagles. Let's take a moment now to go over the starters for the Bruins. In goal, number 1, one of the top keepers in the country, Chris Moncheski. Back on defense, number 4, Caleb Adams. You'll also see Rashid Laresh, playing defense. He's going to wear number 6. His brother, Gashid Laresh, will play in the midfield and wear number 18 in this one. We've already mentioned Oladipo up top for the Bruins. Caleb Myers going to wear number 11 and play in the center of the field as the Bruins on the attack in the attacking third. Figueroa not able to get a shot off. Mario Figueroa, we mentioned a moment ago, he's going to play in the midfield for this Bruins squad. Eli Solomon up top. Micah Hennigan, who you've seen back on defense. Charlie Barkman. A good friend of mine, Johnny Gammon, had quite the call about a couple weeks ago as Barkman sank the game winner in the 108th minute against Pensacola Christian College. The Bruins faithful storming the field after that one. And back on defense in the center, number 27, the freshman James McCarty. And that'll round out the starting 11 for the Bruins in this contest.
Yeah, the Bruins are looking very comfortable early on in the game here. They don't seem to be rushing their opportunities. They're being very patient around the box, and that's something that I think we'll see throughout the remainder of the night, since they don't feel too pressured on the defensive end.
Guthrie got up the field, but the Bruins send it back to Moncheski.
Toccoa looks like they're happy to absorb the pressure here at the beginning. Look for that counterattack. That's when we played against them, that was typically their strategy, is to hold strong at the back, throw players forward when they get the opportunity, and it looks like it's going to be more of the same of that tonight as well from Toccoa Falls.
Jake, I know you're better at this than I am. Can you kind of get a sense of the formation that the Bruins are playing in right now? Looks like 3 on the back, maybe a center defensive midfielder there.
Sure, it looks like they might even have 4 at the back, but what they do with one of the outside backs is they'll bring him forward. So you'll see 22 here with the ball right now. He is actually a defensive player, I think, and he will shift. He'll shift back when he needs to, and the other 3 will slide more toward the middle. But they do have 4 at the back, and then they'll have probably 3 in the midfield, it looks like, at this moment.
So more of a 4-3-3 formation for the Bruins.
That's what I'm thinking. We'll have to see as we get more into the game exactly what they're doing. But, yeah, they typically do have 4 at the back.
Jonathan Hollish tried to get his head on that ball, but it ended on the foot of a Bruin. Here's Charlie Barkman now. He sends it across. McCarty kept it going.
Yes, see, as that right back goes forward, these 3 will slide over and be almost like a 3 as he goes forward to get involved in the offense.
Figueroa into the box. That was John Wood able to deflect it out. Barkman, it was that spot right there that he sunk that game winner against Pensacola from.
Yeah, there's nothing like scoring a big goal in a rivalry game, and I'm sure that's a moment he'll never forget. That was a pretty awesome goal.
Ball played long and out of bounds. The Bruins have pressed early on, but haven't been able to get that goal. They've created some opportunities, but so far the goal has been quiet, and they really haven't put a lot of them on net, Jake.
Yeah, they're getting in the right spots. They're just missing that last piece, which in a game like this, it's looking like they're going to have some opportunities. They've just got to put a couple away to give themselves a little bit of a cushion.
Rashid Laresh right there, just a big man move.
Very strong on the ball.
And the Bruins potentially maybe settling for some long shots right now. And if you're head coach Matt Hotchkin, you'd really like to maybe see them either work it up from the side and try to get it into the middle, work it up the middle. But right now, just settling for some shots from distance that you wouldn't like them to see maybe when they're being as aggressive as they are early on in the game.
Yeah, sometimes it helps to test the keeper at the beginning of the game. That could be their approach here as well. The Toccoa Falls keeper looks to be very strong. He's made some really good saves, so it's going to take more than a long-range effort to beat him, more than likely.
Caleb Adams sending it back our way to McCarty.
There's that switch we were talking about.
And not a lot of pressure you're seeing right now up top from Toccoa. Really content to kind of be in that defensive third of the field for them, and maybe a quick counterattack if the opportunity presents itself.
Definitely.
Laresh in the center, turns it over. His brother Rashid there, though, to pick it up.
Another thing that Toccoa doesn't want to get caught up into is chasing the ball a lot, because it's very easy to, when they're shifting the ball back and forth, to chase, and that's exactly what Bob Jones wants to happen.
Here comes Hennigan. He's scored 5 goals this year for the Bruins. And a weak shot right there, but it's a goal. Let's see the number. It's number 20, Eli Solomon. He nets his 7th goal of the season, and the Bruins pick up an early lead, Jake. It wasn't the hardest shot, but it was effective as he was able to bury it in that left side of the net past the dive of Diaz.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's just about being in the right place at the right time, and he found himself right there on that goal. And I believe it might have been a deflection as well that might have thrown the keeper off a little bit. I'd have to see that one again.
I mentioned a few moments ago, Eli Solomon and Victor Oladipo tied with 6 goals apiece for this Bruins squad this year. Eli Solomon taking over the lead with 7 there. We'll see if Oladipo can find a goal later on this evening.
Another thing that Bob Jones does a very good job of is when they score, they want more. They want to get more goals, and that's what you'll see them do right now. They just pressed right forward, and they've already won the ball back seconds after the kickoff after that goal.
5 of those 6 goals this season for Eli Solomon coming off the bench tonight. He's in the starting lineup, making his 5th start of the season for the Bruins. And he nets his 2nd goal in the starting lineup on the year. Bob Jones continuing to apply pressure high up the field, and Toccoa doesn't have much of an answer right now. Not a lot of push from the offense up top. Really, it's John Wood. Check that, Michael Guthrie all by himself at the top. And I wouldn't want to be him against a very talented back line for the Bruins.
No, it can definitely feel like you're on an island up there against them. They do a very good job of making sure everybody's marked, especially when you're the only one up top there. It'll be interesting to see how he does with that.
Laresh switching the field, cross into the box. Diaz looking at it. He let it ride. Ball into the center. Could have been a foul called there on Rashid Laresh. Boxel chasing.
There's that patience. Just they're content to shift that ball back around and find a new place to attack.
The Bruins passing to perfection right now. Looking like the #1 team in the country. Here's Laresh. Tried to get inside, but Toccoa able to step in front of it. Give the Screaming Eagles some credit so far early on. They've given up the 1 goal, but there's been opportunities for more in this game.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job of staying compact. Once Bob Jones gets down into that final third, they're making it very crowded and not giving them much space to operate, and that's really their best bet at this point. With the passing and the movement that Bob Jones has, they're going to need to clog that up and clog those passing lanes a little bit.
Jake, I told you before the game I'd probably get a text from your dad. I thought it would be in about 5 minutes. It took 14, but he said you're doing a great job. He says you should get paid more, and I said you and me both, right?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about pay after the game, but I haven't heard anything about compensation. They offered me a Chick-fil-A sandwich, though, so I'll take it.
I might take that, too. Toccoa Falls with perhaps their best opportunity early on this evening. It's Brandon Rockwell, the senior, over the ball. Numbers forward for Toccoa. Moncheski directing traffic in the back. Rockwell sending one in and over everything, but a good opportunity by Toccoa. Good on them to create an opportunity here despite playing against a very good team.
Yeah, that's all it takes, a free kick, even from a spot that may not seem like it's in a very dangerous position. Throwing numbers forward like they do, all it takes is one deflection, one ball just to pop in the right place.
Just like that right there.
Exactly.
Toccoa gets the ball back. Colby Rockwell pushing it but turns it over, and here come the Bruins yet again. An overlap run on the far side of the field, now passed through. A shot rings out just over the goal.
It looked like Hennigan on the backside there was calling for that ball, but that's a tough one to play across all those defenders. To beat the keeper from that angle, you're going to have to really put your foot through it, and sometimes you don't strike it quite right, and it looks like that's what happened in that scenario.
Jake, I hate to say this for if you're a Bruins fan, but the last time you were on this field, the last time I was in the broadcast booth for a Bob Jones University game, you scored a pretty big game winner at the end of that one in this box down here, the side that the Bruins are on right now.
Yeah, that was a great game. They gave us a heck of a battle, and we battled again in the regional tournament. And I always enjoyed playing against them. Really great guys. Obviously, it gets fiery. Sometimes it's a rivalry game, but you leave it all out there on the field. And always a favorite game of mine every season.
Great ball played through by Figueroa. Hennigan on the end of that one. Bob Jones still with the ball on their feet. Figueroa making moves and into the box. Toccoa Falls just throwing bodies in front of that soccer ball.
Absolutely. Ooh.
Nearly a mistake right there, almost costing Toccoa another goal. That was Boxall able to deflect that one out. Figueroa, nifty ball. Diaz there, a race for it, and that one into the back of the net. A goal by the Bruins. Diaz down on the play. Toccoa Falls wanting a foul called there after Diaz taken out. But a goal scored. You see them work it up through the center of the field right here. I can't see who scored that.
It looked like Oladipo there scored that one. Just poked it in.
It might be Oladipo. Oladipo now. They were tied at 6. Jake, your cousin and your sister are behind waving at you. If you were tuned in for the Lady Eagles basketball game earlier, unlikely for the people watching tonight, but Jenna Wolford, Jake McClellan's sister, playing a good game for the Lady Eagles against Ave Maria. All sorts of family here for the McClellans. 2-0.
Yeah, you were saying Oladipo. Is that you said that's his 7th?
Yeah,
so
that would be.
They're both tied at 7 now.
That would be 7. So Eli Solomon and Victor Oladipo both back tied at 7 after each have netted one in this contest. Bruins, as I mentioned, on the season, 41 goals. They average just under 5 a game. That's hard to beat if a team's putting in that many goals.
Yeah, anytime you're scoring even 3 or 4 goals, it's going to be hard to combat that. But, I mean, scoring 5 goals a game with the defense that they have is absolutely incredible. There was a bit of a collision with the keeper after the play there, but I didn't see a foul. But obviously the collision still hurts whether there was a foul or not, so the keeper's going to be feeling that one.
Barkman playing it back to Moncheski. Bruins flipping the side of the field right there.
Yeah, you'll see Barkman get very, very wide when the ball switches. It really opens up a lot of space in the middle.
Bruins up ahead. Barkman trying to feed one in. Oh, nifty slide tackle.
Great tackle. Ooh.
Barry bodied off the ball by Laresh.
Laresh is very strong in the midfield there.
Rashid Laresh playing more of a center defensive midfielder role. He wears number 6. His brother Gashid Laresh playing more in the midfield, wearing number 18. And there was a third Laresh that you remember if you're a Bruins fan, Marvel Laresh. Those 3 all playing for the Bruins soccer team, I believe. And you guys can fact check me if you want. I believe Marvel Laresh played on that Bruins national championship team in 2016. Couple hard passes, and you hear the Bruins bench, yelling out to the guys to, communicate out there, have some conversations, talk after, some, tight passing on this side of the field between Hennigan and Barkman.
Yeah, there is a lot of conversation that goes on throughout the course of the game. But to be honest, when these guys have played together a long time, you can pick up on a lot of things that don't necessarily need to be said vocally, and I think that they do a very good job of knowing where people are going to be, making the right runs, and it makes it easier on everybody. Even though you may not hear people vocally talking, they're talking with their body language and their movements. So that's one thing that separates the good teams from the great teams, is just knowing where to be and being in the right spot.
You may have seen a bit of a sway there on the broadcasters. No, our camera guys aren't falling asleep. As I mentioned early on, we lost our broadcast booth due to Hurricane Sally, and so we're up on a lift tonight. And sometimes if you move a little bit too much, Jake, I've been a culprit of this early on tonight. You move a little bit too much, a little too quickly, and it causes a sway. Bruins, though, if you're tuned in, leading this one 2-0, 20 minutes into the contest. Bob Jones University beating Toccoa Falls the first game of the year this year, 9-0. They were supposed to play them just last week, but that contest called off the day before the contest. Oladipo into the 18. Back to Figueroa. The shot ringing out. Diaz somehow on multiple deflections coming up with a save.
Yeah, that one just popped right into his hands there. He's going to be thankful for that one. But Oladipo and Figueroa are causing a lot of trouble with their dribbling skills, driving into the box and making things happen for the Bruins.
McCarty displaying a strong chest there with his volley forward. Good battle now taking place in the center of the field between Kobe Rockwell and Figueroa.
Oladipo is so good on the ball. It's very hard to take it off of him.
Shot ringing out. Diaz knew that one was going to miss as he watched it sail out past the left-hand side of the goal.
He hoped it was going to miss at least.
Diaz, a short one. Oladipo got ahead on it. Good smart play there by Jonathan Bechtel to head it back to the keeper, Diaz. Toccoa Falls, though, still trailing 2-0. They haven't been able to put together much on offense so far in this game, Jake.
No, and it's going to be an uphill battle with the talent that Bob Jones has and how organized they are defensively. You're going to get a few chances in the game, and you're going to have to take advantage. Like, for instance, that play right there, when you have a 3-on-3, you've got to make sure that you're crisp with your passing, but they've also been chasing for almost 20 minutes now, and that really wears on your legs. So when you do finally go forward, it's tough to get anything going. I've been on both sides of that, and it's a lot when you're chasing a team like Bob Jones around. But here's another opportunity for them to put a shot on goal.
Brandon Rockwell, the senior, going to send it into the box. That one's short. Handled. Let the Bruins get it. Figueroa with a full head of steam. He's got Oladipo and Solomon forward. Check that. That's Gashid Laresh. Laresh and another one just missing. Jake, I'm starting to wonder if he knows those are going to miss or if it's just hoping they're going to miss.
Yeah, that one took a little bit of a hop on him there. I think he would have wanted to do better, but every once in a while it pops up on you, and there's really nothing you can do on that one. But, yeah, the goalkeeper was beaten either way if that one was going to find its way into the back post.
2-0. We're in the 23rd minute here in Pensacola. A shocker in game number 1 this evening, as Trinity Baptist knocked off the number 4 team in the country, the Pensacola Christian College Eagles, in penalty kicks. Trinity Baptist has already secured their spot in Saturday's South Region Championship. The winner of this game will do that as well. Bob Jones with an early 2-0 lead on a team that they beat 9-0 earlier this year.
Good tackle.
We've mentioned a couple times on the broadcast so far, Bob Jones University securing the number 1 ranking in the power ratings just last week after the Eagles were able to knock off a Grace Christian University squad that had been ranked number 1. Bob Jones moving into that number 1 seed and basically controlling their own destiny at this point of the season. Win, and more than likely they're the number 1 team at the NCCAA National Tournament hosted in Kissimmee in just a couple weeks.
Absolutely, and they're playing like the number 1 team right now, too. They've had a lot of control over this game, and they look to be controlling, just about as easily as they'd like to, moving it side to side, really getting numbers forward. When they get in that box, it's very crowded. The passes have to be right on, and they're just inches away from scoring again here with the opportunities that they have. Looks like some kind of foul called here. Didn't see exactly what happened. It looked like Oladipo was held possibly. They're going to have a free kick just outside the 18 here. The difficulty here is getting that ball up and over the wall without playing it over the goal. It's a technique that not very many people can do on a consistent basis, but if you can get it up and down, the keeper, you know, that side of the goal is so open that it's going to be very hard for them to get to it.
Figueroa nets one. What a strike. Mario Figueroa, the freshman from Puerto Ordaz, Venezuela, nets one into the side netting. Let's see it again. What a strike. Alex Diaz had no chance to stop that one in net for Toccoa Falls, and the Bruins take a 3-0 advantage.
Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. Up and over that wall with great pace on it. If you wondered if Figueroa was one of those people that can do that, that answers your question right there. Great goal.
Oladipo still with it. Does the Bruins look for more? Hennigan, here he is. Beats one man, crosses into the center. Diaz got a glove on it. Shots by the Bruins ringing out here on Eagle Field. Barkman sends one in, but Diaz handles it.
Yeah, Barkman's been looking to play those crosses in from that wide area all game, and it looks like he'll continue to do so for the rest of the game. As he makes that overlapping run, it gives him lots of time and space to pick out somebody in the box. He's doing a good job so far.
Diaz sends a long throw down the sideline, looking for Smith. Guthrie up top for Toccoa Falls. He's been trying to create some offense all night, but so far this Bruins defense that's one of the top teams in the country, as I mentioned in the pregame, only allowing 7 goals a game. For those of you keeping tabs out there, that's less than 1 goal a game if you're a Bruins fan. They've played 9 games. That works out to 0.78 goals per game. That's incredible at this level.
Yeah, definitely an awesome statistic there. Adams doing a great job of tracking back on that one. And as they defend, they're probably just passing Guthrie off. Whichever center back steps to him, the other one can kind of sink in, as Adams is doing here. Gives them plenty of time to decide who's going to take who and make sure they don't slip up.
Three 0 Bruins, 17:05 to go in the first half of this soccer game. We're in the 28th minute here in Pensacola. If you're a Bruins fan, you tune in. You're used to hearing Johnny Gammett on the call. Tonight, I'm sharing his seat for a little while. Enjoying a great game here as the Bruins continue to pour on the offense. Here's a ball into the center, deflected. Oh, what a shot there. I believe that was Figueroa again.
Yep.
Mario Figueroa sending one on net, but Diaz there to cover. We'll see it again right there. Cross played across, and Figueroa tried the half-sided bicycle kick attempt.
He's putting on a show out here with that free kick, and then putting that goal on top of it would have been 2 unreal goals back-to-back there for him.
Figueroa, he's made 9 starts as a freshman, one of the only freshmen to start all 9 games this year. He's had 3 goals this season, and they've all come against South Region opponents. He's got another one tonight and almost had a second there.
Yeah, just the sheer amount of numbers of Toccoa's players in the box. They're doing a great job of clogging everything up, covering those passing lanes, and shutting down any potential shots from just outside the 18.
The Bruins continue to lead this one 3-0. 15 minutes to go here in half number one, and we're going to get a substitution for the Screaming Eagles. The substitution, number 14, Daniel Jordan. The only substitution for Toccoa Falls on their bench. A short-handed squad are the Screaming Eagles.
Yeah, as the game wears on, when we get late into the second half, the tired legs are going to show themselves even more than they are right now, and that's going to be another challenge for Toccoa to overcome against this Bruins team.
A shot, and that one never had a chance. And now the Bruins digging into their bench. It'll be the senior, Micah Klein, who checks in
University, number 16, Micah
for
Klein.
Rashid Laresh, the first substitution for head coach Matt Hotchkin in this NCCAA South Region semifinal.
Yeah, Rashid and his brother working hard in the midfield there. As much running as they do, the midfielders, it's a miracle they don't take more breaks. They cover a lot of ground in there. As you see the game start to open up, Bob Jones will have a chance to show their creativity a little bit more. Try maybe the flicks and the tricks that you wouldn't necessarily try in a game that's tied 0-0. As the game starts to open up, we'll see more of that, I'm sure, as well.
My good friend Randy Page just took me up on my offer to get involved in the conversation on Twitter. He tweeted, "What a goal there by Mario Figueroa." Randy, you're absolutely right. A beautiful strike there. If you're just tuning in, Figueroa hitting a strike from just outside the 18. It was a right-footed shot and ended up in that upper left-hand 90 of the goal, the third goal of the game for the Bruins.
As a goalkeeper, there's really nothing you can do about that. Nobody to blame, just a great goal, great shot by Figueroa.
3-0 Bruins, 13 minutes to go.
We see Toccoa getting numbers forward here a little bit, trying to put on some pressure, making sure they're keeping Bob Jones in check.
Ball played forward, Hennigan trying to slither into the box. The Bruins already with 3, looking for more. Barkman, great pass to Oladipo.
Yeah, Barkman's doing a great job of getting up that left-hand side, and it just gives one more offensive player for the Bruins to operate with, and he's doing a great job on that left-hand side getting up and down.
Toccoa Falls, though, maybe a little bit of a moral victory here in the first half. You've only allowed 3. The Bruins have had a lot of good opportunities, but so far the defense for Toccoa Falls has stifled the Bruins just enough to keep this game relatively close here in the first half.
Definitely. Toccoa's a very scrappy team. That's one thing when we played them. They're always going to keep fighting. They're going to stay in the game. They're going to make it difficult for you, and that's what they've got to do tonight.
Ball played in now. Barkman. Oladipo jumped over a man trying to get on the end of it.
Yes, Oladipo is very athletic, able to win those balls in the air. Just not quite on target with that one.
Barkman playing a ball through to Hennigan. Turned away by the Screaming Eagles defense.
Another thing about Bob Jones is they're a very balanced team.
University, number 7, Peter
As we see the substitution come on here. So from front to back, they have guys that can complete passes, have very good foot skills, and it makes it very dangerous for other teams to try to defend against because you never know where that attack is going to come from.
Micah Hennigan subbing out there as Peter Waddy comes on. Waddy this year, he started 7 of 10 matches for the Bruins. Figueroa already with a goal. Barkman getting deep with it. A good slide tackle there by the Screaming Eagles. And a great hustle play there by Smith to send that one out of bounds for a non-corner kick. Oladipo was looking for Waddy. Toccoa Falls defenders, a couple of them getting hung up right there.
And those are the little things that you have to continue to do. Sliding to knock it out for a throw-in rather than a corner. To stay in these games, you have to do those little things and keep working hard regardless of the score, and just hope that the right opportunities come your way.
Figueroa to send the corner kick in. Bruins looking for their 4th goal of the game. Oladipo nearly got on the end of it. Another opportunity turned away by this scrappy Toccoa Falls defense. The Bruins 11-0 all-time against Toccoa Falls, looking to make it 12 and 12 in a row with a victory in this one. Waddy's cross in, deflected out. The Bruins in those contests against Toccoa Falls averaging nearly 5 goals a game. Tonight they've got 3. We'll see if they can add some more late. Their most recent victory against Toccoa Falls, as I mentioned, they were supposed to play Toccoa just a week ago, but they played Toccoa Falls the first game of the season, winning that one 9-0.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Bob Jones necessarily be in a hurry to score more goals. Obviously, they want to make some more separation to give themselves, a comfortable lead, but they do have control of this game right now, and it looks like they're content to be patient on the offensive end.
Bruins continue to work it around the back. They get it to Laresh in the center. He was looking for Waddy on the run, but that one out past the end line. 8:28 to go here in half number 1. If you're just tuning in, want to say thank you for joining us in this contest. I'm Noah Frary, joined by last year's NCAA Division II National Player of the Year, Jake McClellan, the all-time leading goal scorer for the Pensacola Christian College Eagles with 41. A great soccer player and an even better friend. It's fun to have you up here tonight, Jake.
Absolutely, it's fun to be here. We've been trying to make this work all season, and this is the first game that we happen to be able to work in with our schedule. So I'm happy to be up here with you.
We'll get this one, and then you're going to join me again on Saturday as we crown an NCCAA South Region title. That one deflected off the foot of Barry, and Guthrie trying to hang on to it. This Bruins defense continuing to stifle Toccoa Falls.
Yeah, and you'll watch when they lose the ball, Bob Jones will get very compact, but as soon as they win it back, you'll see the defenders get nice and wide and create a lot of space, and it makes it very difficult to defend against.
Klein stepping in front of that one. He checked in about 5 minutes ago. The Bruins, much like the Pensacola Christian College Eagles that we saw in game number 1 tonight, a very deep bench.
In a game like this, when Toccoa only has, one substitution, that bench is going to come into play big time.
Oladipo still in control. He's got 1 goal already, so does Solomon. And Figueroa, the 3rd goal scorer for the Bruins. Oh, nice move there. As Wood got around Oladipo, but the Bruins able to get it back. Victor Oladipo, one of the captains for this Bruins squad. He's wearing the black armband for the Bruins. Barkman looking for the big switch over here. We'll see if Laresh spots him. He doesn't spot Barkman, but he finds Waddy. Overlapping run now. Waddy was looking for Barkman on that overlap. Klein, the foul called in the center of the field.
Yeah, that overlapping run allows the person with the ball to decide whether they want to drive at the defender themselves or if the defender steps to them, they can find that guy that's running up the line, and it makes it very difficult in a 1v2 situation for a defender for them to be able to do anything. Barkman's doing a very good job of that tonight as well.
Brendan Rockwell sent one into the box, the first save of the night for Chris Moncheski back in goal.
One of the easier saves of his career, I'm sure.
Moncheski, one of the top keepers in the NCCAA. He ranks third this year, just allowing .78 goals per game this year. He's had 4 shutouts for the Bruins in 9 games. A great season, and probably the odds-on favorite to be named a first-team all-region goalkeeper tomorrow at the banquet. South Region Awards will be decided tomorrow morning. The coaches will vote, and so we'll bring those to you during Saturday's game. (3-0) Bob Jones as we tick under 4:30 here in half number 1. We're in the 40th minute of this contest. The Bruins leading 3-0 on goals by Mario Figueroa, Eli Solomon, and Victor Oladipo. A free kick opportunity.
After seeing that first free kick from Figueroa, the goalkeeper is going to be wanting his wall to do a little bit better job, even though there was nothing much they could do about it on that first shot.
That goal by Figueroa, beautiful earlier on.
Looks like he's going to defer this one.
A shot sent, this one off the post. Solomon was looking for his second goal of the game, and it was a close one.
Another great free kick there, up and over the wall,
Coming in for
but
Bob
just
Jones
wide,
University,
hit off the post
17,
there.
Jordan Cruz.
He's going to want that one back.
Number 17, Jordan Cruz checking in is Laresh. Gashid Laresh coming out of the ballgame for the Bruins. He's been mostly playing offense. His brother Rashid was playing more of that center defensive midfielder role. He subbed out earlier for Micah Klein. Klein, who we just mentioned, now on the ball. The Bruins defense, we've mentioned how good they are at keeping balls out of the back of the net, but Jake, they're really good at distributing the soccer ball.
Definitely. That's something that's underrated for a lot of defenders, both on the Bob Jones team and other teams, is the ability to get that ball out of the back is invaluable to a team.
I think of in your playing days, a guy like Nick Standridge back there, a guy like Adrian Torres, and even Clint Peterson last year, just great players at distributing. And I think if you looked at Matt Hotchkins, you looked at Joe Lewa's very similar strategies of having strong defenses who do a good job at distributing out of the back, attacking up the wings. And that's why these two teams, the PCC Eagles and Bob Jones, very similar squads.
Definitely, definitely. Anytime you can distribute from the back like that, it's going to be very helpful for your team. And the defending position has developed a lot over time, where it used to be the biggest, strongest guys on the field that would play defense, but they didn't have the foot skills. But the modern defender looks a lot like these Bob Jones defenders do. They have the foot skills, they have the mind of an offensive player, but they also have the defensive skills to be able to hold the other teams off.
What would you say has been the biggest reason for that change in the game of soccer? Is that just out of a desire to maybe get more offense?
Well, as far as American soccer, we follow a lot of what comes over from Europe and South America, and I think that in Europe that has been more common, in the past, and we trail a little bit behind, as everybody knows, as far as picking up on soccer trends, and I think that's why it's becoming more and more popular over here to have those very skilled defenders.
Well, and you've seen like head coach Joe Lewas, the names I mentioned, Nick Standridge, he's a forward. Adrian Torres, a great striker. I think of a guy like Clint Peterson who played midfield, and what he has kind of chosen to do is put guys back there that have good foot skills, and that's something that head coach Matt Hotchkins is blessed with in this Bruins squad. Guys like McCarty, guys like Adams in the back, Hennigan over here, Myers, so some really good, strong foot-skilled players in the back for the Bruins.
Absolutely. It makes you at ease when they win the ball. When you have a defender that's a little shaky on the ball and they win it in your defensive third, You know, sometimes you just want them to clear the ball out and get rid of it. But with these guys, you can feel comfortable with them taking a couple touches, picking out the right pass, and not giving that ball away. Unfortunate there, the referee getting in the way. I'm not sure.
He got hit.
They're just going to do a drop ball there. Okay.
Quick drop ball, quickly sent back into play. 17 seconds to go. Bruins leading by 3 here. Looking to get into halftime with a pretty commanding lead against Toccoa Falls.
9, 8, 7.
The 10-second clock ringing out.
4, 3, 2.
In about an hour and 20 minutes after we thought we'd probably see halftime tonight. It's 9:15 here in Pensacola, 10:15 in Toccoa Falls and Greenville, South Carolina. The Bob Jones University Bruins lead this one 3-0. And Jake, they look like they're well on their way to punching their ticket to the NCCAA final on Saturday. It's getting late here, guys.
Yeah, definitely. They look comfortable. They have to be careful not to get too comfortable while they do have a commanding 3-0 lead. You don't want to give up a goal because then Toccoa's momentum might shift, as it often does in the game of soccer. The Toccoa guys look pretty tired. They're going to have to dig deep in this second half. But like I said, they're a scrappy team. They've fought their way back from down, 2-3 goals before, I'm sure, and they're going to have to do the same tonight.
Bruins lead this one 3-0 as we head into the break. Oladipo, Figueroa, and Solomon with goals in the first half. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with second half action next.
What makes you smile? Time with people you love. Making a difference at your work or ministry. Fun memories and the little things that make your day. Going to graduate school can mean giving up those things, but it doesn't have to. With an online master's degree from Pensacola Christian College, you can reach your goals and still be there for family, work, and ministry. Of course, earning a graduate degree comes with challenges, like money and time. But with online learning, you can get a degree that's made for your schedule and budget, one that only costs a little over $10,000, with a flexible payment option too. And with online learning, you can learn anytime, anywhere, with classes that fit your schedule. Take the next step by choosing one of several master's degree programs: business administration, educational leadership, ministry, Bible exposition, and others. At Pensacola Christian College, you'll get a biblical perspective and insight from caring professionals and ministry leaders. So when you graduate, you won't have just a diploma. You'll have confidence to go further in your ministry or career, and you'll still have those memories that make you smile. It's graduate school built for real life. Graduate school built for you.
My name is Ben Randolph. I'm a certified registered nurse anesthetist, and I'm an alumnus from PCC. I provide anesthesia for a variety of surgical procedures throughout the day, mainly in the operating room, anything from orthopedic surgery all the way to neurosurgery, anything in between. I love anesthesia. It's a challenging field, but it's something that I really enjoy. When you're dealing with people's lives, there are times when it gets nerve-wracking, but you kind of have to revert to your training. Personally, I felt very prepared to go into whatever type of nursing that I chose. Getting out of college, going straight into a critical care unit, I was able to get into anesthesia school within a year, which was fairly rare. I felt very well prepared in that regard, and I think that was a real testament to the nursing program in particular. The level of instruction that I got at PCC was really unrivaled. Of course, their nursing program it's a nationally ranked program. It wasn't a program where you could just skate through. It was a program that challenged me personally, and I think all of my instructors really had high standards for the students. You can go there in a great environment to grow spiritually and a great environment to learn. So I chose PCC for that reason.
You only have one life. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to influence your world for Christ? This is a place where you can be empowered to fulfill God's calling and pursue your passion.
Working as a physical therapist, it is a ministry all its own to just build a relationship with the people. I mean, that's my ultimate goal, is I want to help people get better.
I want to go to law school, get into a cybersecurity program. That way I can incorporate both programming and law, protecting companies from cybercrime.
I love being around people, and I love learning about people. I knew that with nursing, it wasn't just about helping people physically, like it was helping them spiritually too. That's what's important in life.
As I began to pray more, God, I have a huge decision to make. Where am I going to go to school? I only have one life. What do you want me to do with it? And He began to show me that what I enjoy doing can be used for His honor and for His glory. God led me to Pensacola Christian College to pursue my passion for finance through a biblical perspective.
I had told my pastor before coming here, I was like, I don't really like school, but I know I need to go for nursing. So I'm gonna go and I'll have to study really hard, and I just didn't really look forward to it. But now, like on my third year, learning is so much fun. And I didn't feel like that freshman year.
I'll look back and I'll be like, man, I remember I used to struggle with that. And then maybe a freshman looks at what I'm doing and they're like, what are you even looking at? I'm like, this is easy stuff.
Incrementally, we're ready to do more, we're ready to face more, and to say, this may not be the easiest thing I've ever done, but it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Last summer, I did an internship in Germany in a genetics lab, and I was able to use the techniques and tools I had learned in the labs here over there, and it made so much more sense because I already knew what I was doing and why I was doing it.
I think teaching is communicating facts, but I think the bottom line for me with teaching is connecting the material so the students not only know it, but appreciate it and also know how to use it.
My teaching isn't about me, it's about where God is taking each individual student down the road.
We have great faculty and they honestly inspire me. Seeing all of these faculty members who have doctorates, you can definitely see what they've learned reflected through what they teach.
They'll constantly tell you, if you need something, come talk to me. I've had teachers other places and they'll say that, but if you go up to them, they don't really want to give you the time or try to respond. And here it's just totally different. You can just have a really good teacher-student relationship.
The faculty are saying it's going to take hard work and dedication to be the best at whatever you're doing for God's glory. That philosophy will always work.
Sometimes they'll ask us, what verse do you think would apply to this? How a verse would relate to a situation.
Biblical worldview is seeing all of my life through what God has shown us in Scripture.
And that's one of the reasons why I chose PCC in the first place, is to have faculty that love God to help me further my spiritual walk with Christ.
If my goal is to be in the will of God, it helps so much to know that my teacher has that same goal.
Everything that I see here is Christ-centered. Their main purpose is, we want you to see more of Jesus Christ. That is what I see in PCC.
Why is PCC here? It's to change lives and make them more like Christ. I hope that I can just have a little part of molding and shaping them like the Lord Jesus Christ.
They want students to come out of PCC and to make an influence and an impact on the world. I think their goal really is to change the world, and they do it one student at a time.
As president of PCC, I want you to know that we're committed to providing an excellent liberal arts education that's built upon the foundation and truths of God's Word. We won't compromise on biblical principles, and our purpose is to equip you for whatever it is God's called you to do. Make the most of this opportunity in life, and choose the college that best prepares you for that calling. PCC has so much to offer. We're located just minutes from the beautiful sugar white sands and emerald waters of Pensacola Beach. We're known for providing the best education value among accredited Christian colleges. And we have great facilities and activities that'll provide memorable experience to your college life. So as you think to the future and think about choosing a college, don't just choose a college because of its location, near home or by the beach. Don't just choose a Christian college because it's affordable like PCC is. And don't just choose a college because your friends go there and it looks like a fun place to attend. Choose a Christian college because God's called you there. Because that place will empower you to influence the world for Christ in whatever God's called you to do.
And we're back here in Pensacola. Bob Jones leading this one 3-0. After 3 first-half goals, one by Solomon, one by Oladipo, and the other a beautiful free kick by Figueroa just outside the 18-yard line. The Bruins just 45 minutes away from securing a spot in the NCCAA South Region Final on Saturday against the third-seeded Trinity Baptist Eagles after they knocked off the Pensacola Christian College Eagles in game number 1. That one, a 2-2 game that went all the way into double overtime before ending in penalty kicks. The Bruins, who come into this game ranked number 1 in the nation, have looked all of that and more tonight, Jake. They've looked really good out there.
Yeah, definitely. And they'll look to make sure they're not too stagnant in the second half. It's easy when you're up 3-0 to get relaxed. But that's when things can turn around, and that's what Toccoa is going to look to take advantage of if the Bruins come out lax.
Head coach Matt Hotchkins leaving the same players that ended the half on the field. Caleb Myers, Peter McCartney, James McCartney, excuse me, and others on the back line. Caleb Adams as well. And Charlie Barkman over on the far side of the field. Getting ourselves reacquainted as we get the second half underway. The Bruins with a strong showing in half number 1. Toccoa Falls, it could have been worse. It ended 3-0, but the Bruins out shooting Toccoa Falls 14-0 in the first half.
Yeah, Toccoa Falls can absorb pressure. That's what they're trying to do, and that's what they're going to have to do for the second half. They're going to look to get out on the break. They just throw numbers behind the ball and make sure that Bob Jones doesn't have those easy passing lanes into the box.
Klein with the one-timer up to Cruz. McCarty all the way across the field. That was John Wood applying the pressure up top for Toccoa Falls. They're going to look to find something here in the second half. It'd be a good moral victory for them if they could find a goal. A misplay there.
That's all it takes is one mistake like that. They've got to take advantage.
The thought by Wood right there strong. The execution not as much. Jake, not a lot of fouls called in this game. No cards shown.
No, it's been pretty well played by both teams. Not a lot of chippiness or physicality necessarily.
Goal scored that time. It looked like maybe number 29, John Fahmy. Fahmy with the goal there, I believe. It's been a long night, and these white numbers on that baby blue, that light blue jersey, making it difficult out here.
Yeah, that was 29 there. I couldn't see that one either.
The freshman Fahmy scoring a goal. He hails from Fairfax, Virginia.
Waddy with the takeaway there. And every time Toccoa gets the ball, they're almost like recovering from chasing for so long. And once they turn it over again, everybody has to go back into defensive mode. It's really hard to do that on a consistent basis and defend for that long without making little mistakes.
Wind picking up here on Eagle Field. Myers now into the offensive side of the field for the Bruins, where they've spent most of the night. They should buy a house on this side of the field because they've been living in it all evening.
They definitely have. And they're doing a good job of, as soon as they lose the ball, they track it back down and win it back. They play with urgency, but not in a panic. They do a very good job of that.
I think you made a good point a little while ago in the first half of, hey, when Toccoa has the ball, you see them kind of swarm down on the ball, but then when they have the ball, you kind of see them spread out the field, and they're very good at that.
Definitely. It makes it much harder to defend for the opposing team, which is Toccoa in this case. A lot of moving parts, a lot of people that you have to keep track of when they spread that width like they're doing.
Throw in on the near sideline. Myers gets it in. Cut off there by Barry.
Bit of a collision there.
Myers and Barry colliding right there. And Toccoa Falls going to have a free kick here. They trail this one 4-0.
Looks like Barry may have a little bit of a limp there. It looks like he might have hit his knee against somebody's knee. Been there, done that, and it is not fun. He'll be walking that one off for a little bit. Got to put this ball somewhere in the box and give your guys a chance to go after it here.
Boxall going to look to send one in. Good boot on the ball.
Ooh.
And now a foul called. We hadn't had many fouls called in this contest, but a couple in the last few moments. And the center official going to caution number 23, Conley Burke, who started off the half.
Yeah, definitely nothing, no malintent there. He just going for the ball and popped out at the last second there.
Burke, he's played in 9 games this season for the Bruins. Made 2 starts. A good sway right there. Jake, we can't move so quickly up here. 4-0 Bob Jones. We're in the 50th minute of the second game this evening in the NCCAA South Region Tournament. Burke out ahead of the pack.
That's something you don't see Bob Jones do too often, is the counterattack, because they normally do have the control and they like to play those short passes around the outside of the box, but good to see them get out on the break there.
Crossed in. Chase for the soccer ball. Won by the sideline. 4-0 as we tick under 40 to go here. 50th minute in Pensacola. We have had more balls get close to the stat table down there than I ever remember.
Tried to steal an extra couple steps there on the throw-in.
It's always a good, smart play every once in a while. Sometimes the
Yeah.
official will let it go.
Yeah, it's a fine line for officials to decide when it's been too many steps, and that time he determined it was just a few too many for his taste. But we've all tried it.
Especially late in games, I'm sure when they're close, you want to get as close to the 18-yard line as you possibly can.
Absolutely, every step matters, and that's why other teams will get upset about it, and understandably so, because that few feet can be the difference between getting it into the 18 or, getting it, a few yards short, and there's a big difference there.
There's so much space in the center of this field right now.
I think the tired legs are really starting to show for Toccoa here.
Hennigan on the ball. He's created some good opportunities so far tonight, but hasn't been able to find the goal. He recorded his first career hat trick versus Johnson University of Florida a couple weeks ago. That one an 18-0 victory for Bob Jones against the Suns. Hennigan netting 3 in that contest. He's got 4 on the season. He also had 2 assists in that game. One of the best games so far for the freshman from Guam.
Yeah, 3 goals and 2 assists is unheard of in soccer. That's a very dominant performance by the Bruins.
Shot rings out, and that one nails Griffith Tower. What a strike there.
You really got a hold of that one.
By Conley Burke. We mentioned Burke. He had 2 assists in that game back on September 12th against Toccoa Falls College. The Bruins scored 9 in that one. They've had 4 so far in this one. They combined at 13 goals to none for the Bruins against Toccoa Falls this season. Klein, the one-timer. He was looking for his teammate Hennigan up the line. Check that, Barkman up the line.
Yeah, you can see Toccoa here taking their time getting to the ball, giving themselves a chance to rest a little bit. Just Bob Jones has been running them all over the field tonight, and it's starting to show a little bit. It's hard to do that. They've been defending them and been covering those passing lanes for almost 60 minutes now, and the endurance that it takes to do that is crazy.
Bob Jones continuing to find holes in this Toccoa defense that's looking tired.
You got to give them credit, though. They're getting 11 guys behind the ball every time. When Bob Jones gets down in there, they're running back, whether they're tired or not, getting in the way, making things difficult. You love to see that.
Hennigan used the outside of his boot to feed it up to Myers. Bob Jones putting on a passing clinic right now. Cross coming into the box. Deflected out, and we're going to have our first corner kick here in the second half. Bob Jones had at least one corner kick in the first half. Jordan Cruz, the junior midfielder, going to take it. He scored against Toccoa Falls earlier this year, back in September.
Looks like Bob Jones tried a unique strategy on that corner kick. It almost paid off for him there. They started way outside the box and then had everybody run in at the last second. It makes it very hectic on the defense. I've seen that done inside the box, but never that far out. Definitely an interesting approach there.
Waddy's one-timer there goes sailing. The Bruins continue to lead this one just 4-0. Head coach Matt Hotchkin digging deep into his bench. John Fahmy netting the fourth goal of the contest here in the second half. Just one goal here in half number 2 for the Bruins. The Bruins have shown a willingness to attack, but they've also been content to pass it around, continuing to show off those passing skills.
Yeah, they're really settling into passing side to side here. And then as soon as the defense shifts, they attack up the side just like they did there.
This Bruins team ranked number 1 in the nation in a recent poll. And I think tonight you've clearly seen why.
Yeah, they're showing why, no doubt. No doubt.
The possession game, the passing, the goal scoring, they've put it all together in this contest so far. They're going to have to do it at least one more time to win a South Region tournament if they are indeed able to come away victorious. Ball deflected on the shot by Burke. Alex Diaz giving up 4 in this contest. Well below his season average of 14 goals given up. A good job so far against a talented Bruins offense that's really peppered the Toccoa Falls back line. Their goal, Alex Diaz so far has held fairly strong in the back for Toccoa.
Yeah, he's had his hands full tonight, no doubt, but he's doing a great job back there. Goals like that free kick, and then the other one was, completely out of his control. So he's been doing a good job to hold them just to 4 here.
Waddy sends it to the sideline. He was looking for Myers. That pass picked off by him. Bob Jones leading this one 4-0. It's looking likely that they'll face off against Trinity Baptist College after they pulled off the upset in the first game this evening. Bob Jones will compete more than likely for a South Region title. Jake, the Bruins clearly, if they make it to that game, which is looking likely, they have to go in as the favorite against the Trinity Baptist team. but Trinity Baptist, less than a week ago, played Bob Jones University to a 2-1 game in Jacksonville. So it may shape up to be a pretty solid match on Saturday.
Definitely. Trinity's just one of those teams that they always find a way to stay in the game. They score those scrappy goals. And as we saw tonight, you can't count them out. You can't count them out of any game, really. They were down 2-0. It was looking like Pensacola was starting to get settled in and taking control of the game. And then just like that, the momentum shifts, and they end up grinding out a win in penalties. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, and they have that championship experience. They've got a younger team this year, but some guys that have seen postseason play, and that can definitely make a difference.
I was talking with our head athletic trainer in between during halftime, and one of the things he got talking about the Lady Eagles volleyball team that's going to be up playing in Greenville, South Carolina later this week. But we got talking a little bit about the game of soccer, a little bit about the game of volleyball, and in soccer, you really do have the ability for surprises to happen. I think we saw a surprise happen earlier tonight, but in games where the scoring is so low, anything can happen, more so than in a game like basketball where you expect the better team more than likely over 40 minutes is going to show themselves to be the better team, the better volleyball team over 5 sets. But soccer, really, that's what I love about this game, because one goal, it just feels like it changes everything.
Absolutely. There's kind of a saying in the soccer world that they say 2-0 lead is the worst lead to have, because you're just comfortable enough that you feel like you have it in control, but within a second you could be only up 1 goal, and the other team has all the momentum. Momentum is everything in soccer, and it can shift so quickly.
That one off the side netting.
There.
I thought that one was a goal.
A little bit deceiving there. Yeah, it's one of those games that it's not one on paper, that's for sure. The best team can have a bad game, miss a couple shots, and the other team, it only takes one opportunity for them, and you can win a game 1-0, and we saw that tonight.
Freshman forward Hoderi Toshime coming into the game for the Bruins as the Bruins continue to dig deep into their bench. Toshime, he's made 7 appearances and 1 start this year. That start coming against Johnson University of Florida back in early September. I was just texting with the Bruins sports information director, Johnny Gammett, a few moments ago, and I was asking when the last time Bob Jones University won a South Region tournament, and I was a bit shocked with his response. Bob Jones has actually never won a South Region tournament.
Oh, wow.
And so Saturday, they'll have a chance, if they get there, to secure their first. He referenced, I asked if it was 2016 if they had won one, and he said that in 2016 they played Trinity Baptist in that final. They lost to Trinity Baptist. Trinity Baptist knocked you guys out that year in the first round, I believe, maybe 2-1, 3-2, something along those lines.
Game, yeah.
And then Bob Jones University picks up the at-large bid. They go on into the national tournament and go on to win the thing.
Yeah.
The rest is history for the Bruins, but still in search of that first South Region crown, and they're more than likely, with 28 minutes to go in this one, I'm close to calling it.
Yeah. And of course, you'd prefer a national championship over a regional championship any day, but to run the table and win both is a good feeling, and I'm sure that's something that they're going to look to take care of on Saturday.
And that's something you guys did in 2017, winning the regional tournament. That one, a 1-1 game in penalty kicks against Trinity Baptist, and then going on, running the table at nationals and securing your first title, playing Trinity Baptist again in that game, the 4th time that season, going 4-0. Not very often you see the same team 4 times in a season.
It's hard to beat a team 4 times in the same season.
I still remember that national championship up in Greenville, South Carolina in 2017, back when the Bruins were hosting nationals. Probably one of the coldest games I've ever been a part of. That one in the Kentucky Christian game right before then, just extremely bitter cold as it sometimes can get up in, late November in Greenville.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was raining and just extremely cold. Everything was soaked, and people were freezing. And you've got a lot of players from South America and guys that are used to playing in the sun, and then they come up and play in Greenville in November, and it's a whole different feel.
I remember a lot of guys on that trip battling some sickness, you know, and you know, in this day and age, if they had been that sick, they wouldn't have played in those games, but ultimately kind of pushing through. And you guys won that national championship up in Greenville. And now the Bruins, you know, looking extremely strong tonight, a 4-0 victory. They're going to have a big test on Saturday, more than likely. Again, I still haven't called it. I'm getting close.
Right.
Kind of like the election. We're still trying to make a decision.
Oh, yeah.
But it looks like the Bruins are more than likely going to come away victorious tonight, and they'll get the opportunity to play for that crown and continue to supplant, you know, stake their claim to the #1 seed in the country.
Definitely.
Corner kick for the Bruins.
Hey, quickly, switch on. Match up. Match up.
Yeah, I will be too.
Taylor, go with them.
But I'm still probably going to go there about 8.
It looks like they're going to use that same strategy here on this corner kick with starting outside the box. Just causes chaos for the goalkeeper as all these guys are running at him at the same exact time. Again, it almost pays off for him.
That was Burke who nearly got on the end of it. Then a one-timer. Missed. The Bruins netted 3 in the first half, just 1. It was John Fahmy here in half number 2. The Bruins, though, seem content to play the possession game here in the second half. You've seen them, you know, doing a great job at passing and really working on that communication in this second half, and they've continued to look strong in that area.
Definitely, and they're getting into their bench players here a little bit to get them warmed up for tomorrow, because having those guys come in without having played in a tournament, you want to get some of those guys minutes so that they're able to have that tournament experience in a game that they feel comfortable in. So they're letting them settle in so that when they go to use them tomorrow, they can be ready to go.
Chwashimi tried to slither through right there.
Unfortunately, Toccoa doesn't have the luxury to go to their bench. They've only got the one player, and it looks like some of their guys are getting really gassed out there. They're still holding strong, though, only giving up 1 goal in the second half here.
A shot there, and Diaz got a finger on it.
Great save there.
Diaz, one of his better saves of the evening.
Those shots don't always look like they're that difficult to save, but you can't always see it on camera either, but it's knuckling, it's swerving. For those goalkeepers to react and hit that ball right over the top, it's much easier said than done.
Diaz has played a decent game in goal. He came into this game 4th in the NCCAA with 63 saves. He's made some good ones in this game. 23 minutes to go, 23 minutes away from a berth in the NCCAA South Region Championship for the Bruins. Another sub as we continue to dig deep into the bench, this time the sophomore Nathan King. He's from Greenville, South Carolina.
And the ability of Bob Jones to throw in those fresh players is just even more demoralizing to Toccoa. Already down 4-0, and they're bringing on fresh legs. It's just a little disheartening when you've been chasing the entire game.
King has played a total of 2 games this year, 90 minutes. Head coach Matt Hotchkins using this opportunity to get some of his bench players some much-needed experience in a championship-style event.
Yeah, regardless of the scoreline, it's a tournament, it's postseason play. Things are intense. To get that experience is invaluable, whether it is a 4-0 game right now or not. there's just something different about the tournament that changes everybody's level of play. It looks like it's cleared out for a corner or a deep throw in.
Waddy walking over there. I think it is going to be a corner kick.
Toccoa trying to figure out this this interesting tactic Bob Jones has going here.
Ball played into the box. Headed out, though, by the Screaming Eagles. Klein finding King. The shot ringing out.
They're doing just enough here, Toccoa. Getting those deflections, throwing bodies in front of the ball. That's what they got to keep doing. Wait for their break.
Yet another sub about to come in for the Bruins, this time Alex Ruiz. Ruiz wears number 28. He's from Independence, Missouri. And he's going to come into this ball game as Caleb Adams exits. I thought it was Adams, maybe not. It's Barkman who's going to exit for the Bruins. A hard-fought 70 minutes.
Yeah, Barkman was excellent tonight, making those runs up and down. And that's not easy. The full 120 or so yards of this field, running, every inch of it for him, doing those overlapping runs. He's definitely put in his work tonight.
And it's runs like that that I believe really allow the Bruins to kind of further open up the middle of the field, create good ball movement, and you've really seen them do that to perfection this evening.
Absolutely. When you throw numbers forward like that, it's always going to be difficult for the other team to try to defend against, and it opens up those gaps, as you were saying.
That one deflected out for another Bruins corner kick. Waddy over to take it again. It seems like I've said that a few times in the last couple of minutes. Waddy, another one of those Bruins that scored in that 9-0 defeat of the Screaming Eagles on the first game of the year back in September. Centered into the box. A header on. If it had been on frame, it was probably going in. It's number 27, James McCarty. Somehow he snuck up from defense. McCarty got a good head on that one.
Yeah, with Toccoa not sending as many numbers forward, the defenders feel a little more comfortable sliding forward and leaving that space in behind them open due to the lack of numbers getting forward for Toccoa.
Barry tried to do it all on his own there, but he was swarmed by 3 Bruins defenders.
That's that compactness that we were talking about in the middle.
Shot by Klein. Actually, Jordan Cruz sails high.
Yeah, it becomes suffocating when you have players coming at you from 3 different angles. There's not always an option to go to that's obvious, and Bob Jones is just really stifling on defense here today. Took a shot to the face there. Bob Jones looking to attack here up the left side. Toccoa again, getting bodies in front of the ball, doing a great job.
Give Toccoa some credit late in this game, continuing to battle despite being down the entire game. Bob Jones scoring a first goal probably within 5 minutes in this contest, but so far Toccoa has done a good job at keeping them out of the net.
It's good to see them fight to the last few minutes here, regardless of the scoreline.
Shot this time, it's Twasime scoring the goal for the Bruins. He scored a goal against Johnson University of Florida back at the beginning of October. This his second goal of the season. Twishime netting goal number 5 for the Bruins.
A great composure in the box there. Took his time, opened his hips, and found that bottom corner.
Five nothing as we tick under 17 minutes. Here we're in the 73rd minute in Pensacola. It's been a long day. This one got started about an hour and a half later than we had expected due to the lengthy game prior to this one. Bruins, though, continuing to battle, much like the Screaming Eagles, who continue to fight late in this contest. The result, a foregone conclusion at this point. Jake, I'm ready to call it.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grim for Toccoa here. It's going to take a lot for them to turn this game around, and it looks like the gas in the tank is getting very low for a lot of these players out here, doing their best, getting in front of the ball, but it's just not looking like it's going to be enough tonight.
I got to admit, the gas getting low in the tank for the players on the field. It's getting low in the tank for me up here.
I'm sure it is.
Been a long day. We started all the way back with a women's basketball game at 1 o'clock, and then there was a men's game at 3, that marathon contest at 5, and now a game at 7 o'clock here. It's been a fun day of sports, though, some good showings from multiple teams.
Here's Adams getting involved in the attack here, the center back. Getting in on the action a little bit.
Getting a bit chippy.
Yeah, the Bob Jones players look to still have fresh legs as well. They haven't, they've been doing their movement with passing. That's one thing that they do a very good job of always, is making the other team work to get the ball back instead of them chasing it around.
The junior Cruz, who's played 3 seasons for the Bruins, sent one into the box, and it was deflected out. A goal kick for Alex Diaz and the Screaming Eagles. Jake, it goes without saying, but Matt Hotchkin has done a phenomenal job with this Bruins team. Just his second season. You faced him last year. He came in his first season. Not much of a recruiting class because of how late he got the job. But, man, looking out, he has really transformed this Bruins roster and brought in quite the recruiting class. And I believe he may turn this Bruins team into a powerhouse in the South region, much like the Eagles have been over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. The organization and the structure and the way they move the ball is going to make them, as you said, a powerhouse for years to come, especially with the young guys that they've got coming in and guys that are on the field right now for them.
Hotchkin, during his time at Grace College in Illinois, he won 112 games there, making him the winningest coach in Lancers history. He led that team to 6 national tournaments in 7 years. That at the NCCAA Division I level. Blake Stevens fixing to check in for the Bruins as they continue to display the depth of this bench here late. "13 minutes to go. We're in the 77th minute of this contest.
Yeah, there's just no space for Toccoa. As soon as they win the ball, Bob Jones is breathing down their neck, making it very, very difficult for them to do anything with it.
Bob Jones looking dangerous, and a corner kick opportunity created. He hasn't been tested a lot in this game, but Chris Moncheski, he ranks 3rd in the NCCAA with just .78 goals allowed per game, and that average going to go down again tonight, pushing down towards the .7 goals. He's been stellar in the back for the Bruins this year. And a big reason why this Bruins team on the precipice of playing for an NCCAA South Region title, and then even more likely in the coming weeks, a national championship title, when the Bruins travel more than likely down to Kissimmee, Florida to play in this month's NCCAA Division II Men's Soccer National Championship. A couple more subs now for the Bruins. Number 14, Gabriel Emery. And I believe there was one other player that came in. Myers and Waddy out. Check that, Adams and Waddy out after the substitutions came in. Looked like the other player, Andrew Arrowwood. He's a freshman forward from Greenville. The Bruins received some good news this season as in the coming years they're going to move to the NCAA Division III level. Ball back post. That was Arrowwood who almost got on the end of that one. The Bruins had planned to play a largely Division III schedule this season, but due to the ongoing pandemic, games being canceled, a lot of games moving around, and they weren't able to do that as much. But I believe this team is talented enough to make that transition in the coming years.
Definitely, definitely. I would 100% agree with that.
Oh, ball turned over, and Toccoa creates their first opportunity. Wood ripped the shot.
Looked like he tried to hit it with the outside of his foot there, just caught his toe and did not quite go where he wanted it to go there.
10 minutes to go as the Bruins look to punch their ticket. Twishime slithering inside. He's already got one here in the second half. 2 second-half goals for the Bruins. Fami and Twishime. Each netting one. There was 3 in the first half for the Bruins. Oladipo, Solomon, Figueroa. That makes up the 5 goals, and that's how we've gotten to where we're at. 5-0 with 9:50 to go. Twishime sent one on net. I believe maybe was that an offsides call, Jake?
It looked like a foul there. One of the Bob Jones players just got up and over and used him as a ladder essentially there. But great save after the fact, though, even though the whistle was blown. That foot save was incredible.
Twishime got his head on that one.
Bob Jones almost playing with 2 at the back essentially right now with how high these outside backs are getting, as you can see right now.
The one thing that's very impressive, Jake, from this Bruins team, you hear kind of some of the crowd mic down there picking up the talking on the field and how much communication's going on for this Bruins team. And this is from a lineup that doesn't get to play a lot, but they're really doing a good job at communicating out there, and that's something that I'm sure Matt Hotchkin has worked a lot with these players on.
Definitely. Everybody knows where the ball's supposed to go, so everyone, even on the bench, does a good job of letting that player know what options he has, whether he should turn or not turn, and where players are in relation to him. So they all do a good job of that. Makes it easier on the guys who aren't as familiar with how everybody moves and how things should be working.
Cruz throws it in. The Bruins now 8 minutes away from a berth in Saturday's title game. This one a foregone conclusion after the Bruins net 5. All we've got to do is tie the bow on it.
Looks like some of the fresh legs here are willing to attack here, and they're trying to create some opportunities even though there are just a few minutes left. Still attacking Still driving towards the goal to make sure everyone's staying sharp and not getting too complacent.
Bruins doing a great job in this game, really taking over from the opening whistle. They scored their first goal just 5 minutes into the contest, and it's been a pretty consistent parade of offense from the Bruins. Really putting together a very complete performance against this Screaming Eagles team that will fall to 0-9 on the season with the loss.
Toccoa Falls seeing some possession in their offensive half of the field here. Trying to put some stuff together here at the end of the game. As the Bruins continue to push forward, hopefully Toccoa can take advantage of some of those opportunities and get themselves forward. Cleared away there. Blake Stevens with the speed there to recover and snuff that opportunity out.
Under 6 minutes to go. Bruins looking for more. Across into the box. And they're going to get a goal. Andrew Arrowwood got in front, and Diaz, maybe not thinking that one was going to fully get through it, harmlessly rolls across the goal mouth, but then Arrowwood finishes it.
Yeah, he came on as a substitute just a few minutes ago and already making an impact.
Arrowwood, that's his second goal of the season for the Bruins. The freshman from Greenville, South Carolina, makes it 6-0 as we get ready to tick under 5 minutes to go in this contest.
Yeah, Arrowwood was in the right place at the right time there. It's all about positioning, and that ball just came right through to his feet. It's not going to get much easier than that for him.
The Bruins bench continuing to play hard in this one. Some of these guys haven't played much this year, and so they're trying to take full advantage of the minutes they have. Arrowwood, I mentioned, his second goal of the season, his first coming against Johnson University of Florida down in Kissimmee a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, a big part of the defenders having the ability to pass from the back is giving them options to pass to. It doesn't matter how good of a passer you are, if your offensive players aren't making space and creating passing lanes for you, it makes it very difficult from the back. And when you have multiple options, it makes your passing abilities magnified that much more when you have options to go to. And that's something they've had no shortage of tonight.
McCarty, who's played defense for most of the night for the Bruins, up on offense, was making some moves there, but Toccoa Falls able to stop him in his tracks. Arrowwood looking for his second goal, and that one finds the foot of number 5 on the Bruins. Nathan King, the sophomore, picking up the goal. We'll see it again right here. Arrowwood played it across, and King finishes it into the back of the net. 7-0 as the Bruins pour it on here late.
Arrowwood there again getting involved in the goal with the assist. Coming on and making a really solid impact here in these last few minutes. As Toccoa Falls looks to be exhausted from a long game of chasing Bob Jones around, doing their best to limit the opportunities, but the dam appears to be breaking a little bit here towards the end.
That goal by Nathan King, the first of his career. It's the 7th goal for the Bruins. Good for him. The defender hasn't played in a ton of games over the last 2 seasons, but getting an opportunity late here in this one and netting that first career goal. Jake, I'm sure you can still think back to your first career goal. Maybe not. There was a lot of them in your career.
Well, I remember, yeah, at the beginning there were some rough games. The program was still very new as the shot just wide there. But you know, now that you mention it, I don't think I can remember my first goal. You put me on the spot there. But I remember my first.
You remember your last one?
My last one would have been against Maranatha in the national tournament last year. Yeah, that would have been my last one.
Number 41 on your career.
Yeah, as I was scoring it, I didn't think it would be my last one, but it turned out to be as the national championship was won, decided by that one goal by Nick Standridge late in golden goal. Nick, known for his late game theatrics, came through with another one on the biggest stage possible.
99th minute, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir.
Some tired legs, I'm sure, in that game.
Absolutely, and Nick just kept pounding the goal. He stepped up from defense as he did many times when we needed a goal late in the game, and he came up clutch like he always does.
I asked Travis in the first game, obviously, you've never done a game with me. You've always been down on the field. What's the experience been like?
It's been definitely a different take on the game of soccer. Obviously, I love it. I've been surrounded with it my whole life. So announcing a game made sense. I've invested a lot of time into it. So to be able to be up here and hopefully share a little bit of my knowledge with everybody has been a lot of fun.
Under 1:30 to go. The Bruins going to win this one. That decided a while ago. The score, the only thing still to be decided. The Bruins have poured on 2 in the last couple of moments. They find themselves leading 7-0, looking for more. Toccoa Falls with it in the box, turned over. We're under a minute to go, and the Bruins going to punch their ticket to Saturday's South Region Final. The Bruins, as I mentioned, still searching for that elusive first title. Moncheski had to come far away from his goal as Toccoa was looking for a late goal to break the shutout. Under 30 to go. Seven 0 as the ball played out of bounds, and that is going to be the final here in Pensacola. The Bruins score early on, and they just continue to score, and they come away victorious late in this contest. The Bruins punching their ticket to Saturday's South Region Final. Jake, been a lot of fun in this one as the Bruins come away victorious. They punched their ticket to Saturday's tournament, and if you saw them out there tonight, they looked very good, and I think they're going to be a very tall, tough task for Trinity Baptist on Saturday.
Absolutely. Dominant is a word that I would use to describe that performance. They controlled every aspect of the game. Toccoa didn't really have any threatening opportunities the way that Bob Jones was stifling, as you said earlier, on defense, and they really showed why they're the #1 team in the country.
You were here for that game earlier when Trinity Baptist knocked off the Eagles, but they're going to have a tougher test with this Bob Jones University team. They control the ball well. They do a good job at finding goal opportunities. If you're Trinity Baptist, what are your thoughts on how you can maybe shut down this Bruins offense that's been electric this year?
Sure, it's going to be similar to what Toccoa was doing. I think Trinity will have some more chances to control the ball a little bit more. they have some guys coming off the bench rather than just the one substitution. So just limiting the chances, like you said, with giving up as many chances as Toccoa did, they're bound to score quite a few goals. And you can't let Bob Jones get up on you, or they're just going to control the ball and keep it from you the whole game. So,
Jake, always a pleasure doing this. I'm glad we were finally able to get you up in the booth. I know it turned out a little late. It's past our bedtimes, I think, but it's been a fun one nonetheless. So thanks for tuning in. And for all of you watching, thanks for tuning in to this game. The Bob Jones University Bruins winning this one 7-0, improving to 7-2-1 on the season as they punch their ticket to the South Region Final. We want to say goodnight. It's late in Pensacola. Until next time, we'll see you then.